Hey guys, Anthony here, AFT Dog Training. I'm out here with Cooper. We're doing some long line work via remote collar. I wanted to have a conversation about training tools. All right. I get asked them about it almost on a daily basis, and to see the expression on some people's faces when you have to mention the use of a prong collar or a martingale, it's mind-blowing sometimes. All right. The reason for that is some of the stuff with the force-free movement. For the most part, it has trickled in and kind of brainwashed some people. Okay, and it's no fault of their own. They're not trainers or anything like that. It's just the movement of the La La Land stuff. Some of it that's being pushed over in England and in Europe right now and stuff. La La Land. I don't care what anybody says. La La Land. So they'll sit there and say, can't use a martingale, can't use a prong collar, can't use anything attached to the dog's neck to do any training. Meanwhile, they want to put harnesses on the dog. In my opinion, and some of the world's world-known animal chiropractors out there, veterinary chiropractors, would say that is the worst walking tool. There's no training aspect to it whatsoever. What the harness does is, if the dog is pulling on it, think about what it's doing to the dog's shoulders, neck, spine. All right? If they're jumping around on that harness, not having any type of control, landing on their ACLs, landing on their legs, there's a right way. It's just like with working out for humans. There's a right way of lifting weights and working out and exercising, and a wrong way to do it. So weight pulling for dog, when done properly, weight pulling exercises is great. It's fine. When the dog is not pulling any weight but the human, and jumping around and digging into the ground and just doing horrible things to their spine, shoulders, neck, even if you get a freedom harness or whatnot, or pressure-based harness that clips in the front and it does that to their shoulder blades all day, do that yourself and tell me how. Do that to yourself, what I was just doing, and tell me how that feels on you, with a harness pinching your shoulders together. So you'll get a ton of force-free trainers, major big YouTube channels and stuff with millions of followers pushing that type of harness around and advertising for it, and that is horrendous. That person is a bad person in my eyes, because they're getting that word out there that put a harness on, it's fine. Their harness is doing a ton of damage, all right, to the dog's body. Meanwhile, the same world-known veterinary chiropractors would say the prong collar is the safest walking tool. Now, you'll see these images being sent around on Facebook, you might have seen them, or the internet, with people with a propaganda and agenda, where there's holes in the dog's neck. That's from abuse. That's from leaving the prong collar on the dog all day long, every single day. That is horrendous. Not what the prong collar is meant to do. You'll get people that fall for it, and I was just trying to get your mind thinking, if you're one of the people that fell for it, and they're like, oh my God, the prong collar made all those holes in the neck. That's horrendous. That's because the human left it on the whole time. All right? You'll see the same horrible type of damage from a harness being left on a dog every single day. As the dog grows, the harness is tightening up, rips the skin open on the dog. Big time cuts, massive lacerations. You're not seeing balanced trainers out there trying to make harnesses illegal, like they're doing over in Europe with remote collar or prong collar. Insanity. Insanity. A lot of nerve of the people even passing those things. Horrendous. You know, I haven't posted a whole lot of stuff on social media in my lifetime, but those that know me know I have a ton of dogs in my lifetime. Been training for years. I have packs of dogs in groups almost daily of over 100 dogs a day. Now I've been posting, I'm seeing this stuff, you gotta be kidding me. Unbelievable. Lots of nerve. People over there in Europe passing that stuff, and the people pushing for it. You are going to kill more dogs, get more dogs euthanized for passing that stuff. Congratulations. I'm sorry that this sounds blunt, but it is the truth, and the truth hurts us sometimes. And I'm passionate about dogs. I love my dogs. I'm tattooed on me. And for you to be pushing that nonsense is incredible to me. On top of that, then you'll see it being pushed in the United States, and that's getting back to where I talk to people daily about, oh, you're going to use a prong collar, you're going to use a martingale. Yes, that's what we're going to use. And for whatever reason, it's stuck in their mind that those things are horrendous, and the harness is fun. But we have to open our mouth, I guess, and start pushing and telling the truth about what harnesses are doing. All right. I particularly, just like the doctor, veterinary chiropractor doctor, Kamen would say, harness provides zero training value. Zero. Right? So it's not just trainers out there that are saying that. We also have science here. And then you'll get to there where they'll say this all leads to this positive reinforcement movement. So what is positive reinforcement? It is when you're positively just using pretty much, and it's hardly ever done, force-free to increase a behavior. All right? So you're giving them a treat to increase a behavior. Think about this, people, especially you people over in Europe that are trying to pass this stuff. Do we do that with humans? Do we? If you get caught speeding down the road here in the United States, say it's 25-mile-an-hour zone, I'm doing 120 down the street. Cop pulls me over. Is he giving me money? Is he going to take me out to dinner? Reward me for driving good, but I was going fast as hell. A bunch of people's lives at stake. No, I'm going to be punished for that. And it's going to cause me mental anguish. I might be thrown out of the car for putting so many people's lives at stake. And I'll probably lose my license. It's going to cause mental anguish, lose my job maybe. And then I'm probably going to have to work a whole lot, put a lot of physical strain on my body just to make up for all of that. So start thinking about this stuff. Where, for some reason with a dog, you can't put a prong collar on the dog and do some training with it. All right? If the dog is a dog that has intent to bite human, your solution might be to euthanize. All right? And I have positive only trainers in this area in Pennsylvania where that is their solution. They don't even address it. Euthanize the dog. They don't care if it's a puppy. They don't care if it's an adult. Euthanize a dog. Years and decades of training experience. That's what they tell me. Instead of giving a punishment for that intention to want to do something like that. You can positively reinforce any actions around you, but you never address the action. The action of wanting to do harm. And for some reason, the La La Land people and positive only think they're going to resolve that. And I've had so many of my clients come through with that same story to euthanize the dog through me, through my training center. Many clients where they've gone to that positive only trainer and says euthanize the dog. Dog's good living, great life. So many of them. So that movement out there to continue to bash any training tools, where are you going to take it to? What's the next level? Because I'm pretty sure if I was out there and that movement was coming, it's time to pick apart your training methods too. How much mental anguish are you causing with the dog with treats? Imagine everything I said to a human to do, I gave him a treat. How's that working out for all those SeaWorld animals? All the SeaWorld dolphins and whales. Everything was treat-based. Everything was. That was one of the biggest things positive reinforcement trainers would bring up. Oh, they trained all those whales and dolphins down in SeaWorld. Yeah, how'd that work out? La La Land. That was what the agenda was, what they were pushing. But in the reality, that was not being done. And humans died from their positive reinforcement methods. Humans had died from SeaWorld's trainers' positive reinforcement methods that the positive reinforcement dog trainers always brought up. Oh, look what they're doing. Humans had died from it. The animals had died too from the positive reinforcement methods. And how this stuff is not brought up when they're trying to make a case for it, I don't know. It blows my mind. But that movement, insanity. A lot of problems with even human kids they're doing that stuff with. All right? It's really crazy. And it's just my 2 cents on it, you know. I don't understand how they are trying to ban tools that they most likely never even worked with. And every single tool could be misused. All right. You'll see some, and you'll see it. There's videos of it too. Positive only trainers beating the crap out of a dog because they're so frustrated because they finally snap because their methods weren't working. They weren't working. Right? And we're not saying, even in the balanced community, to do those type of things whatsoever. But if I lightly ask a dog to come over here and sit down remotely, very, very low muscle stimulation, that's it. You should be able to do that. Hell, I ask my kids to do that all the time. I grab their hand, sit over here. More adversively, my hand, actually grabbing their entire hand and asking them to sit there. So what is that? Child abuse? I would wonder what all your parents would think. When you were kids, you probably got butt whoopings and stuff for deserving things. But just to grab your kid's hand and ask him to sit over here, same thing that I'm doing for a dog, very low stimulation pressure. He's off here having a great time. See, this isn't my dog, this is the client's dog. And then to say the same methods and tools I use on my own 4 dogs, sound abuse, I'll call you insane. Insane. Just my 2 cents on the tools. And different things that could be used for the dogs. Some people they don't like even using a pet corrector. It shoots air into the air. That noise. They don't like it. It's animal abuse. At some point then, a clicker could be aversive. It's causing the dog's eardrums to move. Why would you do that? What if the dog doesn't like it? It can't speak up and say anything. I know I would find it annoying if I heard it all damn day. Again, I would bring these things up over in Europe. What if you were big killer right now is obesity in dogs too? I've seen dogs shut off from treats. Treat trainer, positive only trainer using treats the whole time. The dog shut off treats with human interaction. Animal abuse. It's not brought up though. It's because it was only mentally animal abuse. Same thing, you know, if I did that to my kids with food all damn day, people would think I would be insane too. My son AJ, come over here, sit. Good. Chocolate bar. Come over here. Come in the room. Chocolate bar. Come over here. Let's go outside. Chocolate bar. Let's go swimming outside. Chocolate bar. Let's go for a bike ride. Chocolate bar. Let's go out and play. Chocolate bar. Like, start thinking. I would be picking apart one by one every single thing going on. I'm hoping that you guys do that stuff, man, because I would be doing it here. That stuff was going on here in my state. It goes on in my area. The result is that the dogs are just going to be killed. Thankfully, some of them that the positive only trainers have said for the dog to be euthanized, they actually said, "Nah, let me look elsewhere for a second opinion. Come to me or some other trainer." You know, that's the reality of what's going on. Thanks for listening. It's been a pretty long rant. I could go on and on and on about this stuff. All right. Take care, guys.